are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Good evening, Julien. How is life in the world of Julien?
In the world of Julien, I don't know. In the world of Julien, things are good. Actually, you know what? Things are pretty good. I've had only good experiences so far in the past few
Nice.
days. And what I was thinking was, what about I tell you a story that happened to me a few months back? Because literally, I have nothing to whine about in the past few days. So does that work for you?
That's fine. That's fine. So this is something to whine about that you're going back to.
Yes. Yes. Back
Okay,
to my
cool.
DNA, back to the roots.
There you-
And
well,
you know what? I'm going to do something very good today. Very good. It depends on how you look at it. I'm not going to complain about a single company. I'm going to complain about an entire industry.
so you're going broad. You're going
I'm
wide.
exactly.
All
Now,
right, I
you
like it.
may know or you may not know, but I'm a new father. I have a newborn
I
that
know that.
came a few months ago. And if people who watch this video did not know, there is a clue here with some baby puke on my shoulder and the fact that I hardly find time to shave anymore. Those are clues. So I'm going to talk about the baby industry, not on
Oh
how we
boy.
produce them. I'm going to leave that for another
That's
discussion.
right. Right.
But about everything around it, because as a new parent, and I was there a few months ago, you suddenly are left to the wild to decide what to buy. What do you need? Well, you know you're going to need some baby bottles sooner or later. You probably need some
Right.
clothing. Sounds fair. There's probably going to be a stroller at some point that you're going to need, maybe a
Mhm.
car seat. I mean, there are a bunch of stuff that you need. And if you do your research, well, internet is kind of your friend, so you're going to find what you need. But there are items that are necessary. And I'm thinking the stroller for one, and the baby car seat as well, are things that are essential, assuming you have a car. You're going to have to move your baby around.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
you're going to need that equipment. And what I discovered was that there is no way on earth you buy this as you would buy any other product, because the complexity of those products is insane. There is no concept of buyer persona. There is no concept of simplifying the customer journey. And that's not one brand. That's any brand I've come across. So you don't know where to start. When you buy your own car, you kind of have your preference on car style, maybe car brands, maybe it's about the consumption of the car, maybe that's about the budget that you're going to be able to put, maybe that's about diesel versus electric cars. You start with something. But as a new parent, I mean, you could say, okay, I want that car to be red or to be blue, but beside that, where do you start? What do you want? For the baby seat, especially, where do you start? What do you want? You need to consider security, you need to consider pricing. And even within a single brand, you start browsing websites, they all tell you they have the highest security score, which is probably good because that's kind of why you're buying this in the first place.
Right. Right.
But you have no way of comparing two different kinds of seats. They're all saying there's the best, the more secure, the most comfortable with the best features. But where do you start? How do you compare those stuff? How do you understand? How do you realize the complexity of these things? And that's just the web experience. Then let's not even talk about once the day you actually buy the stuff and you try to figure out how to plug
Yeah.
things together. That's
And we've had hundreds of years to add cup holders and shades and under storage spaces and yeah, the add-ons and the complexity of the things is infinite, and
but
three
what
quarters
I've
of the things you never need.
yeah, well, tell me about it. So what I've discovered was, as a new parent, I'm not informed, which is probably normal, right? I'm a new buyer in that industry.
Right, right.
But no brand, and literally no brand of it, maybe I've been very unlucky, but I don't think that I have been. No brand is able to tell you this product is made for you. Give us your 5 criteria. Tell us what you care about, and we're gonna,
Right.
gently walk you through your customer journey to tell you what product is made for you and why this one is made for you. You actually end up on, regardless of brand you pick, you're gonna end up on a website that's gonna tell you, here are our products. Figure it out. This one has this
Pick one.
ISO whatever, and this one has this other ISO whatever number reference. What do I care? Just tell me which product is good for me, because the only thing I can tell is I prefer blue than pink. But that doesn't really help you picking a product. I found this incredibly frustrating, and I have pretty short temper, so when things frustrate me, I tend to get angry pretty quickly about it. And I've been looking at baby car seats for months, literally every night, going on the same website, trying to wrap my head around which one is made for me, which one should I buy. Should I go with a cheap one? Yeah, that's baby security. You have to take an expensive one. Doesn't mean I should go with the most expensive one, but how is it better than this other that does exactly the same thing? So frustrating. And I don't feel like we have improved in the past 30 years or so on this kind of thing. Ever since there's an internet around, things should get easier and easier. I don't think we're there. And I will end with that piece. I think the only reason why this industry can get away with this, is because as a new parent, after you purchase that stuff and get angry a couple of times on how the hell are you going to plug this in your car, you kind of forget about it because you just go along with your life, and now you have a baby that just fits in the baby car seat, and that's fine, and you kind of forget about the terrible experience you had. And I think that's why they can get away with such terrible CX. Do you know any good brand for baby product that actually, I don't know if you bought any baby product lately, but you had a grandchildren not too long ago, so I guess the new parents probably asked for your opinion at some point. What's your take on that? How do you feel about this?
I haven't done anything recent. I remember the frustration you're talking about from, when dinosaurs walked on the earth and I was buying stuff like that. What I remember with strollers was there were kind of two flavors. There was fancy and there was compact. So you could get kind of the umbrella one that you could carry around, and then you could get the fancy one that had all the bells and whistles, and that's the one you wanted, a kid could sit in that all day, and it was a lot more useful. I so as you've had the stroller, have you learned, oh, these are the things I care about and these are the things I don't? I wish I'd known that before.
Exactly. Now I'm an informed buyer.
Right.
Today, if I were to do it again, I would know exactly what I want. I would not know which product to buy because I've experienced one only. But I would know what feature is missing, which one I do care about, and which one, seriously, I should not have paid for that. But I was not in that. And the thing is, this industry is probably made for second-hand parents that had that first experience already. But it's so not made
Hey,
for new parents.
actually, I'm going to take a more cynical view of that industry. I think it is not in their best interest to make it easy for you to understand which features you want. They want you to buy them all. So by making it complex and hard to figure out, the first time parents overbuy, and then they learn what they don't need. And okay, then going forward, they've got that. Sounds like you could write a couple of wonderful blogs on what matters for buying children's stuff, etc. That somebody ought to have that out there somewhere.
Well, I haven't found anything that was usually when you find content is kind of sponsored by a specific brand, so you don't know whether you
Right.
can
So
trust it or
yeah,
not.
you need every bell and every whistle and two more whistles that you never thought of.
And the other thing is they launch new products several times a year. It's even worse than the clothing industry. It looks like they launch a new version of the exact same thing every 6 months. And you wonder,
Wow.
so what's new about it? Well, that's the same thing, but it has this extra certification. And what difference does it make? Well, it's more
We tightened
secure.
the bolt.
And
Yeah.
that
Well, and I bet, okay, I'm going right to cynical again. I bet that's because you have the parent, yeah, every 6 months, there's another wave of parents looking for a stroller. And if I can say, oh, your stroller's 4 releases old, and look at all these things we've added, I might be able to get them to say, oh, I better get the new one. So I can see where frequent updates are in their best interest as well.
And I do think frequent updates are great. That you should review your products every now and then, and the more often the better. But you should do it with the customer's best interest in mind. Let's take the CX lens for a second. My baby is still going to be a baby for a while, and she's going to grow one step at a time. The good thing is I pretty much know the roadmap already. It's pretty much set from birth.
It's pretty
So
predictable.
pretty predictable. She's actually looking at me right now. So I know I'm gonna have to buy other stuff, other equipments. I even know kind of which ones I need. Same thing as vaccination. You pretty much know 6 months you need that, 12 months you need
Right,
that, 2 years you
right.
need that.
Yeah,
It's pretty
yeah.
straightforward.
Clothes
Now,
are going to get bigger. The weather's going to get cold.
and I cannot tell, I very frankly cannot tell a single brand that I thought, wow, they made my life so much easier. I'm going to buy their products for every next item I'm buying. None of them give me a great experience. Some of the stores kind of had a good experience because the delivery was good, the payment feature were good, but nothing about product description and why I think this one is good. None of the brands wowed me in any way. And therefore, whenever I'm going to buy the next item, I'm probably going to buy the cheapest one or the most convenient one, but I'm not going to have loyalty towards any of these brands. And that's a miss because I'm going to be with the baby for the next, 3 years before she actually grows up and change to different brands that don't take care of babies. I find it's really a miss here.
That makes a lot of sense. That says there's a huge opportunity. I mean, on one level, it's not a miss in that somebody else is going to take their business, but it's a miss in that they're not taking the business from anybody else.
That's actually a huge opportunity, right?
Yeah, it
Because
is.
the
It is.
first brand that starts thinking customer first and not marketing, features, fluffy stuff first is probably going to take a lot of market shares.
Yeah, yeah. And who cares if I get two features that I don't sell as much as I used to if my customers are, and you're talking about it for one child. What about the family that has 10? Pity them for many reasons, but that's
I'm not going to
that.
be one of
Yeah.
them. That I guarantee.
Well, I like this. I think we've spotted a market opportunity. I think that's really great.
Absolutely. But with all the frustration I had buying that product, I'm not going to step in. If you want, be my guest. But at the very least, I feel much better about it. So
Well, I'm
thank you
glad
so
for
much,
that.
Max.
I'm
I hope
glad
we've
for
helped
that.
people. I
Well,
guess we
good.
have.
I'm sure we have. Or at least
And
we're helping each other.
let's continue that conversation next week. I promise I will let you whine about whatever you want.
All right. I will. I've got some whining ideas, so I'll pick one.
Perfect. See you next week, Max. Bye.
Sounds good. Thanks.